What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions, and I quickly wanted to cover how to identify confirmation and when a stock is trending up. We received this question so many times that I just wanted to make a specific video for this topic so I can just guide people in the right direction. So this is going to show you step by step on how it is that I focus on stocks that are actively trading up. So why is like investing in a stock that's actively trending up so important? Let's kind of just look into SLV. If we look into SLV, for example, we can see that looking at this 180-day analysis, I'm using the Thinkorswim platform for all those that are going to be asking. And yes, this is all for free. You can Google it on how to download it. I have a video that covers it as well. I quickly wanted to cover how is it that you know that you're investing in something that's most likely going to continue to trend up. I look at previous patterns, and this is one that we came across within our private group chat. So this one had a previous support at around $15. It went a little bit lower than that, went around to $14.43, and then trended back up, had another sell-off. And $15 being a previous support, you would make the assumption that, hey, it most likely will try to bounce there. It's never 100% set, and that's why it's so important. I use this EMA line, and if you could see that my EMA line is with the 15, the length is 15 instead of its normal being 9 or 14 or whatever the case may be. I changed mine to 15, and something that I rely on and that I look at is the EMA line itself. It's never 100%, but it gives me an understanding that when the candlesticks themselves are riding above the EMA line, the stock is trending up. And the reason that's so important is because, again, you're investing in the stock market, you're investing in these companies, so your money grows with the actual, price itself. That's the easiest way that I can put it. So something that I look for is on the 180-day chart. I don't look for a semi-confirmation. Easiest way that I can tell you a semi-confirmation is UYAS. UYAS right now had a sell-off, and it's right about to cross above the EMA. It crossed above it, then it crossed below it. It's not riding on the EMA line for similar to SLV. So if we look at SLV again, we can see that it's bouncing off the EMA line. That's a good indication of an uptrend. Well, let me go ahead and move on over to AKS. I'm going to show you guys a bunch of examples. An ascending uptrend pattern. As we could see, it rides and bounces on this EMA line as it continues that ascending uptrend pattern. I'm going to give you another example. Another one would be CENX. These are all callouts that we've done within. If you're part of our mentorship program, if you're part of our private group, these are ones that you all would have came across. We called out the support for CENX at $14 time after time. We waited for the break above the EMA, and it's been bouncing on this EMA line nonstop. And the way that I approach it is, hey, it's riding on the EMA line. When do you know when is a good time to buy? When it gets closer to the EMA line and it starts to confirm that uptrend pattern. So looking that it's actually bouncing and continuing that uptrend. What I really try to focus on is this EMA line. If I show any signs of a reversal, the easiest way that I can put it is pretend this EMA line has a arrow in the front of it, right? It has a little pointer. So let's just pretend that it has like a little arrow like right here and then right there. I don't know if you guys could even see that, but you can see that the arrow is still pointing up, right? And again, what way do we want our money to grow? Up, right? We want it to continue to grow. That's the easiest way that I can put it into perspective where, hey, if it starts to, let's say when it made this transition, if we focus on right here, right? It was going up, and then all of a sudden the following day it had a pullback. It started pointing down. That's an indication that it's trending back down. So that can give you an indication. Again, nothing's ever 100% certain. But it can give you a better understanding that, hey, it's not pointing up anymore. It's not going to most likely continue to bounce on the EMA line. I might want to either consider cutting losses or covering profits, whatever makes sense to you. Another one, USLV. These are all top stocks that we've been focusing on within our mentorship group that are currently trending up. Support at $9, we called it out perfectly, broke above the EMA line before and then started to trend up. Do you see that when it started to trend above the EMA line, it was bouncing on the EMA line? So obviously I would like to buy when it gets close to the EMA, and then I like to sell when it pushes a little bit further apart. When do you know when to sell? Where you could either draw a resistance line, right, and ascending a resistance line, or you can calculate what's the average push away from the EMA line. So that's 4%. That's about 4%. So it looks like every time that it hits about 4%, it pulls back and it gets closer to the EMA. So then you can make the assumption, okay, hey, I'll buy close to the EMA as long as the pattern is still continuing to indicate an uptrend. And when it gets 4% plus, then that's when I'll follow with a stop loss. Same thing is happening right now for USLV. we could see that, it crossed above the EMA line. It's riding on the EMA line, and it's hitting somewhat of a resistance at $10. It's getting close to the EMA, so it's still pointing up. If there's any signs of a reversal, then we could either cover profits or whatever the case may be. But if we get another push, then this thing most likely will continue. Again, very simple pattern, very simple indication, focusing on consistent growth. And yeah, so let's move on to the next one. KEM. KEM also with a bounce, based on its previous support, $14, broke above the EMA line, as we could see right here, still holding above it, had a little bit of a pullback, during market close. And with that being said, it's getting closer to the EMA line. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, it's a good thing if this pattern continues. If we see that this line really starts to show signs of a downtrend, then we probably don't want to invest into KEM, because again, then most likely the candles are going to fall below the EMA line like it did over here. So it was bouncing above it, and then it hit a peak, dropped below, and then started trading. You see how the line is now above and the candles are now below? That's showing signs of a downtrend. MACD indicator supporting that as well. Again, EMA line, a huge indicator that I like to use to get a better understanding long-term how the stock is trading. BZUN. Holding above the EMA, broke above it, has been showing signs of consistent, bounces on the EMA line. Do you guys see that? It's been showing very nice. It broke above the $32 resistance, and it's been trending up ever since. It now hit a new resistance at $33 with a little bit of a pullback. And its next resistance looks like it's going to be $35. So it still offers pretty decent, potential for profit. Again, holding above EMA, look at previous patterns, how it reacts to the EMA line. When it holds below it, yes, downtrend. When it holds above it, shows signs of consistent uptrend. It does sometimes, it does pull sometimes a little bit further below the EMA line. And that can give you an understanding that, hey, look, BZUN, I'm going to have to give it a little bit more of a cushion, because it doesn't always just bounce at exactly the EMA line. It kind of pulls back a little bit further below it as well. So just something to take into consideration. FBR, holding above the EMA line. Again, pushing up, pulling back, still pointing up. And that's the direction that we want to see it. If it starts to show signs of a reversal, then obviously, right? If it starts to point back down, then you most likely don't want to invest in it. And that's why it's so important that when these candlesticks start to catch up with the EMA line, that you wait for the confirmation. You can look at it a little bit closer, and just to ensure that, hey, is this stock going to continue trending up? Is the volume still there? Is the demand still there? Is there anything that can act as a catalyst to continue to drive this price up? And then the last one that I wanted to cover is MZOR. MZOR still showing signs of a consistent uptrend pattern. Again, these are all stocks that are just holding above the EMA. These don't mean that I'm trading any of these stocks whatsoever. I just wanted to give you guys an understanding of what's a stock that's trending up, and how to get that confirmation on when to know when to buy. Easiest way that I can put it is, hey, let's say that there's this support here at $55 and the resistance is at 60 based on previous resistance. So support and resistance, it offers about almost 10% potential for profit. It's holding above the EMA line. It crossed above the EMA, as we could see right here, and it's still showing signs of a consistent uptrend pattern. Right, that's a pretty decent indication of most likely what can happen. With that being said, is this investment worth taking? Well, you have to take into consideration all your other investments. Look at the overall company, see if you know anything about the company that can, drive the price down instead of making it to continue to go up. And then with that being said, once you formulate your plan, be like, hey, my potential for profit from 56 to 60 is 6.7%. What's my potential for loss? It's about 1%. So is 1% worth it for 7% or 9%, whatever the case may be? And that's a decision that you have to make. It's opportunity cost. Is the risk worth taking? And if it's not for you, then you can move on. And if it is, then great. Formulate a plan, manage your risk, and then stick to it. But make sure that you're investing in something that's showing signs of an uptrend. I'm trying to go a little bit quick just so I can cover a good number of examples. But let's see. Let's see what everyone has to say. So what's going on, guys? Thank you guys again for joining the live stream. There's blood in the streets in the crypto market. Time to buy. Okay. Well, that's what this guy said, so that's not what I'm saying. Okay. Why do you always have to make sure that it's 10% profit? That's not necessarily the case, Kevin. All I want to cover is when it comes down to opportunity cost, you have to take into consideration, when is an investment not worth taking? Well, let's say that, the easiest way that I can put it is, this one's not the best example. I like the example for SLV, and that's a really good question. Let's say SLV, right? We could see the support here at $15 and the resistance here at 16. calculating that overall potential for profit is about 6%. Thinking about that, hey, if I buy in at 15 and I can sell at 16 and I make, almost 7%, that's, with a 1%, let's say I follow with a 1% stop loss, that's a risk worth taking for me. But let's say we caught SLV when it was up here at like 15.75. It's showing signs of an uptrend. It's gonna, most likely peak out at $16. From 15.75 to $16, the potential for profit is 1.62% when the potential for loss is much greater. Is that investment worth taking when it's already, covered already so much of that margin based on its previous pattern? For me, no, I don't want to risk, 5% for a 1% return. I would much rather, find this that, okay, we got the confirmation. It still offers potential for profit that's, attractive when the potential for loss is still, not very huge. So easiest way that I can put it, opportunity cost, is this investment worth taking, and is the risk to reward ratio worth taking? These are all things that we cover in our lesson library. And if you're a part of our group, we do have over 60,000 members, as you guys can see, within our free Facebook group. All you guys have to do is press the second link in the description to join. If you guys like the way that I break stocks down, we'd love to have you as a part of our success. And be sure to subscribe to the team. Brad is our OTC stock group leader. Vin is our cryptocurrency group leader. And Harley's going to be leading our Robinhood challenge. So, if you're just starting, he might be a good rep to follow through with. But I do upload daily videos. I cover everything from like my daily life of my Alpha 7 GTR. This was a funny video. And then the top stocks that, I see value in and stuff like that. But most importantly, if you're really serious about investing in the stock market, then I would, recommend for you guys to click the first link in the description. It will take you on over to my lesson library. And if you want to learn how I found, a very common question is like, how do I find all these stocks? How do I find all these stocks? How do I know, when to buy, when to sell? How do I speak to you, Ricky, on a daily basis? We do daily Q&As within this private group chat right at Market Open. So I answer everyone's question within this private group. I track your trades and I make sure that I hold you accountable for everything it is that you do. We have a structured video lesson that, explains everything it is that you need to know about the stock market, as well as a couple other bonus videos of buying and reselling cars, investing in real estate, and stuff of that sort. So if you want to look a little bit more into it, again, it's the first link in the description. And then to join our free Facebook group, it's the second link in the description. So I would really encourage you guys to at least dedicate 1 or 2 minutes to look into it, just to see if it's something that you think can make a transition in your trading career. So thank you guys again for all your time. All the links are provided for you down below. I really do appreciate your guys' time for, coming in live and stuff like that. So Ricky, say hello so I know that you are live and not a robot. What's going on, Alexander? I am not a robot. So Jake is asking, Ricky, are you single now or something? That is something that is pretty private, but yeah. So thank you guys again so much for your time. If you guys want to join us live, I do go live every morning right before Market Open. So feel free to subscribe. And if you guys really like this video, we'd really appreciate the thumbs up, giving me a better understanding that you guys want me to make these easy and straightforward videos. So thank you guys again. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.